I'm starting to build what we call a catio. What's a catio? Well, to put it simply, it's an outdoor containment center for cats. I have a friend of mine who has 3 outdoor cats that she absolutely adores, and she wants to keep them safe. And so we're going to build a cat condo. And I'm going to start cutting wood for the door that we're going to have in our cat condo. I just wanted to check in with you, let you know we've got a new project underway, and I'm so excited. I've never built one of these before, so we're going to see how this goes because, well, I'm just following a picture from a web page. So I'm starting the door, and I've got some 2x4x8 pressure treated lumber here on my chop saw, and I'm going to start making the door for it while the owner of the house continues to get the flooring, the ground ready for me to come in and start framing the rest of it. But I can do the door while we wait. So I'm going to get started measuring that and get it cut. I figure the door, because the catio can't be any higher than 6 foot high, so I'm going to make my door 5 foot, probably by 2.5, maybe 3. I've got to get the final dimensions on width, but I've settled on 5 feet because I need room for the top of the frame as well as the roof trusses. There's going to be some I say bar joists, but roof trusses, wood trusses, that we're going to put a little roof on to keep the rain and the elements out. So I've gone with 5 feet. The owner will have to duck in there, but it won't be too bad. We're trying to stay within the height of the fence, and normally fencing is 6 feet high. So here we go. I've got my measurement. I know where my 5 feet starts. Now I use my chop saw for this because it's much easier than to use my skill saw and get a lot straighter cuts. Now because I'm going to make the door, I've decided that I'm going to make the corners attach at angles rather than just straight cuts. So I'm going to do 45s and link them together, kind of like what we see, unless I change my mind. I'm kind of playing around with both ideas. Because now that I'm looking at a regular door, it's just straight across. I'm looking at doors and they're just straight across, and it's actually the trim that's that way. Of course, you know what? I can't see underneath there anyway. Let me go check this out. I'll get back to you. Alright, well I've got my miter saw set up at 45-degree angle. I'm going to cut the first corner on this 2x4. I decided to go ahead and build my door with 45-degree angles in the corners, and then I'm going to brace it on the inside to keep it straight. So here we go. I'm going to make my first cut. Cover your ears. Oh, and one thing I do need to do is put on my face protection. It's not good to be breathing in all this dust. And the other thing I decided to do is I've got, what'd you say? Yeah, nothing. Alright, here we go. Don't be scared. See that? Cut that little corner right off. I'm going to continue to cut, measure, and make my cuts. and now I'm ready to put it together, and then I'll cut the inside pieces for the bracing. All right, so I've got my door cut, as you can see. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screw it all together, but I'm gonna pre-drill some holes first to make it easier to drive the screws in. Then I'll build some angle braces for the inside so that it'll square it up. As soon as the owner gets me the chicken wire, then we'll cover it and it'll be ready to go inside the catio, which is a cat condo. We have our door frame built. Now you're probably thinking, that's a little short. But you know, the overall height of our catio is 6 feet. So I can't make the door the complete 6 feet the same height because I got to allow for the roof and everything that we're going to put on there. But we're square. Hip to be square. Do, 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 do. Hip to be square. Time to quit fooling around. Now I'm going to build the braces. Then I'm going to square this puppy up, give it a little extra so when it's out in the elements, it doesn't go all cockeyed and everything. So now I got to measure those, cut them on my chop saw at 45s, and brace this thing up. To make the angle for the door, to brace it up and make sure that it stays square, I needed a piece like this. I just happen to have this spare piece laying around. Now, this is the great thing about wood, is as you cut pieces of wood and as you collect pieces of wood, I always recommend keeping them because you never know when you're going to need it. And this is a perfect example of that. I needed that width, this width, okay, and it's perfect. So now I can go ahead and cut this and make my braces for the inside of the door to keep it square. So I'm going to get the saw set and get cutting. We're going to make a 45, and then I'm going to have to measure to see how far and how long that's going to be before I can make the next cut. In the meantime, let me put on my protection in my ears. This comes in handy when you're using this kind of saw because it's super loud. And of course this is great. I ordered some other ones that fit a little better so they don't fog up my glasses. But here we go. Cut that one twice because a piece of wood moved. You know, it sounds big and scary, but actually if you respect this saw, it could do a lot of work for you. Now, this particular saw does not come and slide. There's like a sliding miter saw. I don't have that. This was the first one that I got. So I've been able to make do, but it sure would be nice to have the one that comes down and slides across. You know what that helps you do? Wider wood without having to get out the table saw and all that stuff. But I'm grateful for this one. So I'm gonna go measure my door and see where the next cut is gonna be. I finished the door and now the first wall is complete. And now it's time to start attaching the chicken wire to the frame. This chicken wire is actually wire used for rabbit cages. It's about 40 inches wide and it's 10 feet long. It's very thick and will do a good job in protecting the cats from outdoor intruders. For this project, we needed 4 rolls of wire. 4 rolls was actually not enough, so I came up with another solution to fill in the rest of the space, which ended up working out very well.
I used a staple gun to attach the wire to the wood temporarily until I could get the proper fasteners from the big box store. They make things that look like bent nails specifically for this project.
So now we're putting on the headers that are going to take the trusses. We're making our way on this catio slowly but surely. The owner picked up some more wire, so I got to finish the wire, but in the meantime I'm going to leave it off so that I can walk in between. Right now we have an 8-foot by 6-foot by 6-foot high catio. And if you don't know what a catio is, look it up. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to finish these headers, and I'm going to put another header on top of here so that way I can slope down the roof joists and sit them into place as we then sheet it. Got our first truss on the catio. Oh, wrong way. Not very good at this. This is why I build stuff, not video. There it is, first truss. 4 more, and then we're going to sheave. Design error number 1. The roof is not supposed to be permanently attached. However, well, because I'm building it in the garage, and so I'm building it in sections to take it apart, and I took great care in making sure that all the walls are going to come apart, so I would have 4 walls that I could carry out of here. Roof, same thing, only I just discovered that I got a little too excited and I permanently attached the roof. Not a good thing, not a good thing. So now I think my only solution is to go through and try and fit my Sawzall in this groove and cut the 4 screws that I use to attach my headers so that my roof will be able to be lifted off, because it's going to be too heavy, and I'm going to have to do the other side as well. And this side is not going to be as bad because the only thing I got to cut is right behind here. I'm going to strap these down anyway, this roof down, and so right now I'm just going to do what this sign says. Sorry for the fast motion. Trust God with what you need. And trust God with what you have. Let me tell you, not fun to find that out. Update. The roof is no longer permanently attached. It just so happens that my header with the braces, I was able to roll it up on its side, take the top and unscrew the screws there. So now it's screwed from up underneath just to hold the roof on for now while I get it decked and get the covering on. And then when it comes time to move it, that roof is coming off and we're going to carry it all in one piece. Hopefully. That's the plan.
And now we start adding the roof. I love to get free plywood from the big box store. Here we are using what's left over of paper felt from a roofing job that was done on my house last year.
All right, well here we are. We're fixing to start the roof on our catio. Got starter shingles going, and then we're gonna put the regular shingles on. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with the first row, and we'll go from there. We're making great progress on our catio.
Sorry folks, I forgot to take a picture of the finished roof. But that's okay, you'll see it at the end of the video. Ramps and shelving were installed for the cats to move around. If you remember, I only had 4 rolls of wire, so I decided to use fence pickets to enclose the rest of the space. This ended up working out well as this catio faces west and it would hide the elements of wind and rain. My new dust mask came in. And now begins construction on an outdoor litter box. This will be outside the catio, but attached to where the cats can get to it very easily. Well, now we've got our catio pretty much done. I've got the roof on, it's shingled, I've got it all wired, and I even have a space in the catio that the cats can hide behind so they don't get wet, and a way to block the sun. Because the way this catio is going to face, it's going to face west, and that of course is going to get afternoon sun. We get storms coming out of the west, and so what I did on the catio is on the west side of this catio I built up a wall using fence pickets, which ended up being an awesome idea. Also very inexpensive, and as we know, fencing holds up really well to weather for a long time. Well, now one of the things that I've got here is I built an outdoor litter box, and I'm going to show that to you. I'm fixing to put the top on, and again, I used fence pickets, but here's an overhead view of this gigantic litter box. Now you'll notice that it's open on that end. That's going to go against an opening in the catio. It's going to line up with that so the cats can enter in. And I'm going to put a top on this that she'll be able to lift up to change the litter. And I'm also going to work on putting some kind of trap door down on that end so that when it comes time to change the litter, she can drop the door down and open up the top and the cats can't get out. I've never made one of these before. What I decided to do was also make it out of fence pickets. It was pretty inexpensive. And the wood that I used for the framing, let me tell you, I got it for free. It was awesome. I stopped at this boat place and they had a bunch of wood out by the side of the road that they were throwing away. And so all of this wood that framed it is absolutely free. So this whole thing right now, this gigantic litter box, which is about, it's almost 4 feet long by 23, 24 inches wide, almost 2 feet. And so far, it's cost me like $8, if that. Well, let's see, I've got 10 pickets, probably 12, so sorry, probably more, about $14. So anyway, I'm gonna work on putting the lid on, and I'll show you what that looks like when I get done. So now I'm working on the top. And you know, the great thing about this top is that I got these 2 pieces of wood for free. And they happen to be wood siding. And they fit perfect. All I had to do was trim the bigger one lengthwise. But widthwise, the 2 of them put together, and I have my top for the cat litter box. And now I'm attaching the center with a 1x4 down the middle, attaching both pieces together, and then I'll flip it over, mark for the hinges, and attach it, and we'll have a lid that she can lift up and change the litter box. So here's our lid. It's finished. I've attached those 2 pieces together with a 1x4, and now I will turn it around and fit it on our cat litter box and attach it with hinges. The lid is roughly 50.5 inches by 23, I believe. Ended up being my final measurement. Well, actually, it's wider than that. Well, you know what? Let's put a tape on there. Sorry if I'm going too fast. Ah, there we go. It's wider than I thought. 30.5. So, our overall width for our cat box is 49 and some change by 30.5. And you can see I went ahead and I built my frame first, and then I attached the side using fence pickets. It took 5 fence pickets up each side. Now, if I had more time and wanted to get real particular, I would have gotten my table saw out and trimmed the top row, but as it was, I angled it in to fit. Now, the other thing I did on the outside of this box is that I put 2 support beams or studs where the hinges are going to go for my lid, so that way I don't pull the top piece off, and those are about 20 inches tall. So there's no bottom in this because it's going to sit on the ground outside the catio. And just to show you again, this will be the entrance that the cats can come through. They'll have a huge place to do their business. And also, this would also be a place if they need to hide. A safe place to hide out of the weather, or if they get afraid, they've got a nice cozy little spot here that they can check out. And, well, now I'm going to go ahead and work on attaching the lid. Our top to the outdoor litter box is now complete and installed. Well, today is the day that we move the catio. I am so excited. I'm going to take you on a tour of this while I'm here by myself. Everybody is on their way to help me move it. It's moving day for the catio. Yeah! So let's go ahead and take a tour. All right, so here we go. This is the entrance. You'll notice we've got the roof sloped, so when it rains, that's a shingled roof, by the way. We've got some drip edging around the sides of it. And we're gonna go ahead and enter our catio. So over here on this wall, you'll see that I put fence pickets up. This catio is actually going to face west, and so I'm protecting from the sun and the rain. And then we've got our shelving, and we've got the ramps for them to have fun on. We've also got a ledge for them to walk all the way around. And we've got cat toys. And another shelving unit. At some point in time, the way I built this is that this side, if they want to do an extension, they can. If they want to do an extension out the front, they can. And that would be the trailer that just hit the driveway. Alright, and here we have the cat box for the outside litter. We've got a trap door here. This cat box is actually going to go right here when we get it over to her house, and that'll be our trap door. And this is going to be the outside litter box. And we'll essentially just open this, and then she'll have a place to put the litter. And there is the opening. And that'll fit up alongside the catio, and there you go. So moving guys here, we're going to go ahead and get started. My driveway is okay. Well, we are on our way to move the catio. We had, well, I left 2 screws in the roof, so we had to deal with that first. We cut those out, and we got the wall detached from the roof. And now we are on our way. I don't know if you can see. The truck is coming, and we are on our way to install the catio. We were met by a welcoming committee. We're starting to bring the walls in one by one. With the help of great neighbors and great friends, we are starting to put the catio together piece by piece. And now it's time to carry the roof, which was very heavy. It took 6 people to carry it. All hands on deck. All hands on the roof. Now we are sliding the roof into place. Due to the fence between the 2 neighbors' yards, we had to go over the top. Checking to make sure everything is level. Here we are installing the outdoor litter box. Anchors were installed in the ground and attached to the catio. And now the catio is complete and ready for its new occupants. We hope they enjoy a nice view of the lake. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this building project and would like to see others, please go to my YouTube channel, The Teaching Lady, and subscribe today.